What's up, savvy expats? So moving to the Philippines, you'll inevitably encounter your own set of road bumps, obstacles, and culture shock settling down here. Now, I want to preface, I will not be sugarcoating anything in this video. I may step on some toes here, but my intention at the end of the day is to give you the inside scoop that many other influencers refuse to touch on in the Philippines. That being said, buckle up and let's get on with it. This is going to sound rude, but at number 1 on our list, I wish I knew about the Moochers, man. Look, I don't want to step on anyone's toes here because some of the nicest, most sincere people are here in the Philippines. So to clarify, this doesn't apply to all Filipinos, don't get me wrong now. But to say that Moochers isn't an undeniably common thing here in the Philippines would be an absolute lie. Far too often have I come across people that have tried to take advantage of me because of the mere fact that they know I'm from America. And the reason I put this at number 1 on my list is because, imagine this. I'm Filipino by blood. I look Filipino, and not to mention I'm a young guy. Yet, there's been more occasions than I can count on my hand where someone has tried to get over on me. So, if that's the case with me, what more an individual like yourself, who is clearly a foreigner by looks and complexion, you're much older, you're more matured, and you're an established individual. You see my point? I just want to look out for you because I can only imagine the amount of occasions and opportunities people will take to try to take advantage of you being a foreigner and a more matured individual when that's happened to me several times and I'm Filipino by look and blood. And I'm a young individual. And when I'm talking about people trying to take advantage of me, I'm not just talking about random street food vendors and people from the wet market trying to squeeze the most out of me. No, I'm talking about some of my closest friends. The people I trust the most, who I've let into my personal inner circle, who have used me shamelessly for my finances. I'm not asking for your pity, by no means whatsoever, but I do ask that you really watch who you get close to in this country. Because it'll start with the small, hey Evan, can you pay for my drink? I'm short on change. Then it'll progress to, oh man, I left my wallet behind. Can you cover my lunch? And then before you know it, they're asking you to pay heftier expenses because their auntie supposedly broke a hip falling down 20 flights of stairs. Alright, maybe that's a bit much, but you get the point. I really hope you can see where I'm coming from. This is not me trying to strike fear into your hearts or even to badmouth the Filipino people. That's not the case at all. Again, I can't say how much I love the people here. But the reality is, this is something that genuinely occurs so often. Just because they know I'm from the US, I automatically become a human ATM. It's very common for Filipinos to think that you as a foreigner are made of money just because you come from abroad. For me, it's gone to the point where I had to withdraw myself from certain people and individuals that once were in my inner circle because, I hate to say it, they're moochers. So a few actionable steps I have for you when making friends here: set your boundaries with them. When you're eating at a restaurant, get your own bill. When you're shopping, shop only for yourself and for your family. And when you do pay on a lunch, ask kindly that they cover the next one. I want you to know, even being slightly generous here can be seen by them as a green light to abuse your wallet. Because for me personally, I love giving and being generous. That's how I show my appreciation towards people around me. At the end of the day, the Bible says God loves a cheerful giver. But I wish I would have known before moving here that there's a lot of people that will take advantage of you for that. I've seen it far too often here in the Philippines than I have back in the US. I don't want to get into my personal experiences because it still honestly bugs me to this day, so let's move on to the next one. Now, on the bright side, the second thing I wish I knew about the Philippines is the phenomenal cost of living. To paint the picture, my family is from the overpriced city of Chicago, so to say that we get bang for our buck here in the Philippines is an understatement. As a matter of fact, we actually spend less here in BGC, which, mind you, is the most expensive city in the Philippines, than we did back in the US. And so things that were considered a luxury in America becomes an everyday thing for us here in the Philippines. What do I mean by this? When you hear that somebody has a maid, driver, and cook in the US, you immediately think that they are rolling in the dough. But here in the Philippines, on the other hand, that's completely affordable. I kid you not, you can have a maid, driver, and cook on payroll here in the Philippines for less than $1,000 per month. So not only do you get bang for your buck, but your dollar affords you a certain quality of life that you don't just come across anywhere. And this doesn't just boil down to house help. This also applies with spas. Weekly massages for only $10. Weekend trips to the beach, you name it. For For instance, our most recent trip that we took was a flight down to Siargao to go surfing for only $50. And here, that's actually considered expensive for a flight. But just imagine, how much would it cost for you and your wife to have a spa day in the US? I mean, that'll cost you at least $100 for the two of you. But here in the Philippines, you can experience a full spa for only $30 to $40. And how about massages? Back in the US, that's a luxury you only indulge in every once in a while. But here in the Philippines, you can get weekly home service massages for only $10 per hour. So needless to say, it's not only more fun in the Philippines, but more affordable in the Philippines. Now, moving on to the third thing I wish I knew before moving to the Philippines, that is how important it is for you to set up an international bank account. Not from there, then your own home country. That said, it's imperative that you have your own international bank account to pull your funds from while living abroad here in the Philippines. God forbid somebody steals your ATM card or debit card, you want to have peace of mind knowing that you have an international card as well. For me, I did both. I applied and got a local card from Metro Bank, which is nice because I don't have to deal with the hefty international fees. Then I also have a Bank of America card with no foreign transaction fees as well. Some other international banks that you'll see many other expats opt for is Citibank, HSBC, JP Morgan, and Capital One. That being said, having an international bank account in the Philippines saves you so much hassle. Now, for the fourth thing I wish I knew about before moving to the Philippines, that is choosing a safe place to set up home base. Oh, Evan, that's so obvious. Look, it may sound obvious, but you won't believe how many expats choose to live in a sketchy place just for a cheaper cost of living. Like, it's really not worth saving an extra $500 to risk getting robbed in broad daylight when you're better off and safer living back in Omaha. Speaking from personal experience, we stayed in an unsafe part of Subic upon our arrival here in the Philippines, and we pretty much got robbed of almost all of our belongings. I'm talking iPads, iPhones, computers, you name it. It was thousands of dollars worth of gadgets gone. So I really recommend make sure that you do your due diligence on a safe province or city to settle down in here. For us, that place happened to be BGC. While BGC is the most expensive city in the country, it also provides the best quality of life with the lowest crime rates. Being one of, if not the safest city in the Philippines, I have peace of mind knowing that I can walk around in the middle of the night and be completely safe. I mean, look at me right now. I'm here in Uptown and I have no fear whatsoever. Of course, I don't walk around obliviously, but I do feel much safer here in BGC than any other city in Manila. That said, if you're planning on moving to, or if you want to know if BGC is the right city for you to settle down in here in the Philippines, the link to our full guide is down below in the description. We cover everything from the cost of living, the condos to rent as you settle down here, and even the attractions that this metropolis has to offer. So if you're interested, head over to our website, thesavvyexpat.com, and I'll show you everything you need to know about BGC. Now, moving on to the fifth and last thing I wish I knew about before moving into the Philippines, that is the heart-wrenching poverty. Listen, we all know that the Philippines is a severely impoverished country. But me and countless other expats that I've spoken to have all one thing in common, and that is how shocked we were when we saw the poverty here in the Philippines. The poverty here in the Philippines isn't like the poverty by any means in the US where you see tents on the sidewalks. No, the poverty here is so common and widespread, dare I even say in your face. You can be on your way to the world-class business district of Makati City, and just outside the city, there's kids knocking on your car door window begging you for money. Or even just living in BGC. This place is a bubble. Walking inside the city, it's like its own little utopia, but as soon as you take a step outside, you'll find makeshift houses and impoverished families. I can recall my first culture shock was when we were staying in Malate, a not so nice area of Manila. And I vividly remember seeing a girl who couldn't even be 5 years old yet carrying a newborn baby because her mom was out working in the red light district. It was night outside, almost pitch black, and it was practically a baby carrying a baby on curbside behind a car trying to keep safe from the public. These are the kind of things that you commonly see here with life in the Philippines that you never really get a chance to prepare for when living in a Western country. And so there you have it, Savvy Expats. Those are the 5 things that I wish I knew about before moving from the US to the Philippines. My goal was not to make this list negative whatsoever. Instead, it was to disclose the harsh realities that I personally experienced living here. Other than that, the Philippines is a beautiful country with wonderful people, and I'm really proud to call this place home because it really does feel like home here. Again, if you want to check out our comprehensive guide for living and moving to BGC, the link to that is in the description of this video. And so, thank you for watching Savvy Expats, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.